Okay, so in this video we are going to be looking at updating the weekly activities at Swanham Village Hall. What we have here is again something that was created by AI, and it has a title, and we have two columns that sit inside a single row. That's the setup that we have, and basically if I Alt Tab to look at the original website, this is where I've copied and pasted from the original website different sections of what's been happening during the week, and I've copied and pasted it into a Word document so I can still get at the materials. I can still double click and copy the text and that sort of thing, but you can see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So this is where I have got some of the raw data, and the AI has, as you can see, let me just bring that up. We've got Pilates with Amy in the website already. Let me just actually, rather than doing Alt Tab, let me do Windows Tab. And let me go. So we have, this is our website just here, and this is the file that I am working from to generate, to copy and paste the information from this file onto here. So when I Alt Tab, I'm jumping from this one to this one. Okay, so right, so let me just go over to, let me just move that around like this. So this is the source document, and you've got weekly activities, Pilates with Amy, 9:30 to 10:15, 9:30 to 10:15 is just there, and then we've got a telephone number and an email address that is also there, mail to Pilates and fitness by Amy at gmail.com. So that was in the original website. So I think AI has missed out some of that information, so I need to ensure that that is in there. And we have this Mondays down here, and we don't have anything to do with the days of the week on here, so that's something we need to fix. I'm going to minimize that out of the way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on Edit with Divi. So that was the header that we did in the last video. Click on Edit with Divi now, and once that refreshes we can get to work. So what I think I'm going to do, obviously each of these is a blurb, and if I was to inside this row, if I was to click on one of those blurbs, so I'll click on Pilates with Amy, we can see the right hand side changes to show that we are now working on a blurb. So I've clicked on the gear symbol, and it's now showing the blurb, and the content of that blurb is just here. Pilates with Amy, which is Pilates with Amy, that bit just there, and start your week with a refreshing Pilates session, and that bit is just there. So we've got image and icon down here. So if I was to click on this little button here, that will open that up, and it will show you that the icon that we have here comes from inside of all here somewhere. So I don't know whether if I was to browse all the way down, you'd suddenly see that icon highlighted in some way. It might be that one, but I don't think it is, because the image isn't quite the same. Anyway, if I clicked on one of these, you can see it's just changed just there. So that's where the icon is located, just here. So what I could do is if I type in keep fit, is there anything there? No. People. There's people there. What could I choose? Pilates. Sport. I could probably choose that one. That might be a better one. Pilates with Amy. I don't know whether that actually represents it properly or not. So let's try dance. No. Oh, health. Health. Well, there's a walking person, a running person, there's a heart thing for health. Right, I think I'm going to leave it with the heart thing for the moment, because we've also got a keep fit thing down there, which would be good to have a human being on. So I have chosen the heart from doing a search on the filter to do with health, and I've now got that as a Pilates with Amy, so that's fine. So let me go back. If I collapse this menu again by clicking on there, and I go back to the text, start your week with a refreshing Pilates session every Monday, etc. Okay, so I'm going to bring back up the Word document, which is just here. And so we've got Pilates with Amy here, so that bit's in it. We've got the time in there. In fact, I think I might move that. Just clicking on there. If I cut and paste that in at the start, and rather than the word to have a hyphen. So we've got 8:30 to 9:30, and then we've got a colon just there. Now I'm going to Alt-Tab again to bring back that Word document. And we could put contact Amy Spencer. So I'm going to highlight that. Copy, Control-C, or right mouse click and copy, because I've highlighted those. You can highlight that with a triple click, or you can just click at the end and just do the highlight with the mouse that way. Anyway, I've copied that. I'm going to click back onto here. This is going to disappear as soon as I click back onto here, because at the moment this window is sitting in front of the larger window behind. But as soon as I click into here, that window goes behind the working window where I am doing the website. So put a space in there. I'm going to do Control V, and because Alt-Tab again, Alt-Tab again, because that is a link inside Microsoft Word, and as I paste that in, it's remembered that link. It needs to turn that into a telephone link, but we'll do that later on. So we've now got Pilates with Amy, then a time, then a start your week, and then so I think every Monday what we're going to do is we're going to take that bit out, and then after the word Monday we're going to do contact again with a colon, contact Amy Spencer. So it kind of now reads Pilates with Amy, gives you the actual time. It does have Pilates session every Monday. We won't need that Monday in, but I'm going to leave it in for the moment. And a contact. Oh, by the way, as well as clicking over here and altering it over here so that it alters it over here, the great thing about Divi is that you can actually click into the blurb or text itself. Oh, contact. It should be contact. And you can actually type directly inside the object itself. You don't always have to come over here to do the updating. You can update directly on the web page itself. So that's a nice thing to know. Okay, so at the moment that's also in bold. I'll keep that in bold nicely because that makes it stand out. Let me just save that for the moment. Right, I want to actually put in, oh yeah, you can see here that we've got a one row here and another row here. That so. And another thing just to actually say is there's this button here which is called X-ray, and if you click on the X-ray, every single frame that you can see, do you know how as I move my mouse you can see a small different coloured frame? There's a grey frame, dark black grey frame around every object. There's a green frame round every row, and there's a blue frame around every section. If I click on X-ray, it shows me all the frames that there are, but you don't. So you can see that. Let me just show you that frame exists there, and if I put my mouse over it, that's the frame it is. So if I take that frame off, you see the frame appears. That frame appears. Clicking that shows you all the frames at once. That can be quite helpful. Okay, so what I want to do, I'm going to Alt Tab back to here, is I want this row in here. I want a column where I can put the day of the week, and then I am fitting all of this information all across here into one column, and I want another column where I can put perhaps a photograph or something. You've got photographs in here in the old website, which looks really as if it doesn't fit properly. So I'm going to add a new row in, and the row I'm going to choose is this one. I could choose that one, but I'm going to choose this one, and it's got a nice large bit in the middle, and that large bit, I'll just click on that to add it, and I'll just close that down for the moment. That large bit there is going to be the bit that contains the blurb, and this bit here, this column here within the row, is going to contain the word Monday, and that's going to go all the way down that way. And I'm going to have images in there. I think that's how I'm going to make it work at the moment. I might have to change it. I really don't know. But we will see. I might have to do a bit of moving around. I'm doing this video off the top of my head. So, just let me have a little think. You've got insert rows from there. And you can insert new rows from there. Right, I'll begin as I'm intending to go on, but I may change this. But you watching me, moving things around, making mistakes, having to change things, that will just help you all the more to understand how sometimes you have to work your way through things with Divi, because layouts are complex on web pages. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put my mouse over here, and you've got the 4 arrows. I don't know whether that translates when I don't know whether that translates when I'm doing the screen recording right now. As I move this mouse around, it might just be a normal mouse that you see. At this moment in time, I'm seeing a 4-way arrow because my mouse is going over an object. If you're seeing in this recording just a normal mouse with a highlighted bit of yellow over it, that's not what I'm seeing at this moment in time. I'm seeing like a 4-way arrow, a bit like pointing to north, south, east and west, and that means that the object is ready to be dragged. Okay, so I'm going to click and drag and then drop that into there, and I'm going to go to here now. I'm going to add a new module. Now I can either scroll down and find the word text, which is just there, or I could, for speed, type in T, E, and before I even get to the word X and T, it's there. So that's really easy. And that's the default text that comes in. In fact, I don't want a text, I want to have a heading. So let me just delete that off and start again. And there, put the word head for heading. Your title goes here. I'm going to go over to here and type Monday. Now I've got Monday over here. And I'm going to go to Design, Heading Text, and I'm going to go to Ambril Fat Face because that's the main heading text that I'm using. So it's now looking quite different. And do I want it in capitals? Let's do that one. Monday, oh, I don't know. No, we'll leave it as it is for the minute. Now, I want that to be looking in a different direction. That's left to right at the moment, isn't it, that Monday? And I want to be able to turn that around so the M is on the bottom and the Y is upwards. So the way to do that is, I'm on heading text at the moment. So I'm going to close the heading text menu, and I'm going to go to transform. Now transform is great fun, and you can do all kinds of things with transform. You can change the size of something. So if you look here, there's this little arrow, and I can click and drag. And if you look at the Monday now on the left hand side, if you see that it is getting larger and smaller, and you can see the percentage sign changing down here, and etc. So if you wanted to get it right back exactly what you wanted it to be, you just type 100 in there, and that puts it back to 100% and back to its normal size. So that's the actual transform scale. This one here is the ability to move it somewhere. So if I could move this, or I could move the whole of the row if I was to click on row settings. In fact, let me just do that. Let me just play around for a moment. I'm going to go on to row settings. So now I'm working on the row itself. Okay, and I'm going to go to background, and I'm going to give it a really stark, horrible color so you can see what I'm doing. Then I'm going to go to design and transform, and I'm going to go to transform translate. This is number 2 now. So this one is obviously to do with scale, this one is to do with translate. Now if I click on that, now as I push this up, watch the, here we go, right up like that, and I can make it sit on top of there like that. And you may have noticed that I have in the past used this where one object overlays another, and that's how you can overlay objects inside a web page. It's minus 261 pixels, so it's gone upwards out of place from where it normally is. So if I just want to put this back to where it should be, I just put these back to 0. So 0 and 0. Oops, no. The reason why it's doing that and jumping around is because I've got these linked down here. Break the link on that. 0 and 0. That will put it back. So because I had that chain linked there, any changes that I made would make it jump everywhere. So I just had to break that chain. So again, if you were wanting to move that up there, I would not use pixels. I would use percentage. Okay, so, but I'm not working with that. I was just doing that just to show you some stuff. So let me just put this back again. So row settings, background, I'm going to delete off that background color. And then I'm going to click on Monday again because we're working on Monday. I'm going to go to design and transform. And we're not going to go to that one. We're going to go to transform rotate. And again, this is great fun because you've got different ways of rotating an object. And the one that we really want is this one just here. And as I click on this little dot, and I'm going to drag it all the way up to just there, that will take the Y and drag it all the way up to just there, but the Y will be pointing out that way. So if you watch that Monday there, as I'm dragging this row up here right now, you can see that that's what's happening. In fact, the Y is staying where it is. It's the Monday that's actually moving around. Okay, so like that. So that's in degrees. So I can get that straight like that. I think that's right. Okay. So 270 degrees. In fact, that's like me going all the way that round. So that's the way in which it actually works. So that is sitting there nicely now, being very well behaved. And if I were then to let me just go back and have a little. Let me save that first. Let me go back to that Word document. I'm going to. Oops, no, that's the wrong one. Didn't want to do that. No, didn't want to do that either. Ha ha ha. That's better. Word document. The next one is keep fit from 10 till 11:30. Tracy Hammond. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to Control C to copy that. Minimize that out of the way. I'm going to go to keep fit now. Click on that one. So we're at Tracy Hammond. And I'm going to click in there, space, Control V. Again, I'm going to move this 10:30 to 11:30, highlight that, Control X to cut, click there, Control V, and I'm going to turn that 2 into a hyphen. I'm going to put a colon just there. I'm going to take out that bit of from, and I'm going to put, after the word Mondays, down here, contact, and then colon, Amy, etc. Just going to quickly save that. Now, what I could do is I could click and drag that up and drop that, and that Monday is sort of staying towards the top. Now this isn't going to quite work as I wanted it to, because what I wanted to be able to do was to put an image here, then an image underneath, and those images would have to be a very specific size in order for them to stay all in line. What at this moment in time, what I've got is I've got one column there, another column there, and another column there, all in one row. And what I really need is multiple columns like this, where you've got that there and another one here, etc. And I need to have another column here that spans each of those columns like that. If you remember, in the very first thing that I spoke, the very first video I made, I showed you the speciality section. That's what I really need here. I need one column with a Monday, and then even though I won't be using these two, I'll be using a one, then another one, and then another one, etc. That's what I really need here. Now, with me, I'm just going to experiment for a moment. Just give me a second. I'm going to add that in like that, and then I'm going to add. No, I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that to be like that. So I've now got a place for the Monday, and I'm going to add in a new module or row. This or row is new in Divi 5. So this is something that I haven't done before. So I'm going to click on there and add in a new row. And I'm going to add in I'm going to add in that one. Right, that's what I wanted, because I can now drag that Monday. Oops, no, I'll tell you what I'll do, it's being a bit of a pain. I'll right mouse click and copy the module and add new module or row. So I'm just going to, I don't think I can right mouse click on that one and add a new. I can't, can I? So I'm going to add in some text just for the sake of getting something in there. And then now that the text module's in there, I'm going to right mouse click on that gear and I'm going to paste the module called Monday and I'm going to delete off the text. So then I'm going to drag up the Pilates one like that. And then I'm going to duplicate. You see that duplicate button just there? I'm going to duplicate that row and I'm going to drag that up there and delete that one off. So can you see now we've got one long row and inside with a column just there, and then in the second column that I created I've inserted another row with two columns in it, and I've just duplicated that and got another row with two columns in it. And what it basically means is that I'm going to get that Monday to appear in the middle in a second. And I can add an image in here and that image will be locked into that framework just there. That image will stay aligned with that. That image will stay aligned with that. So that I have proper alignment in this that I'm now creating. This is hard work. Okay, right. So if I want to have another row, I'm going to delete that Monday because it's getting on my nerves. In fact, I'm going to delete that whole row. So Mondays, I'm going to bring up the Word document again. And I'm going to see they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 things that are regularly happening on a Monday. So we've got 2 so far, 1, 2. So here's the duplicate, 3, 4, 5. So there we have them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the third thing that we have, if I go back to here, is the U3A Monday bridge, which is down here. Okay, and it's got Jonathan Rothwell. So I'm going to just highlight that and right mouse click in it and copy. Get rid of it. I'm going to drag that up to be underneath that duplicated one just there, and I'm going to delete that one off. Click on the module here on the gear symbol and we are now in the U38 Monday bridge, and I'm going to click into there and do a Control V to paste. Again, I'm going to just highlight that bit of the text, which is the time, Control X to cut, click front at the beginning, Control V to paste, and put a colon, highlight the word to and replace it with a hyphen, and I'm going to get rid of the from word, and I'm going to put contact and then a colon. Okay, so I need to get rid or change that icon, so I can get rid of or collapse the text and open up the image and icon menu, and in here I wonder if there's got, if I do type the word card, we've got playing cards in there. Monday bridge, it's got credit cards, but I can't see anything in there to do with. Okay, so why don't we game. Is there a game of cards in there? Certainly dice, but I can't see playing card, which is a bit awkward really, because it's meant to be advertising bridge, not chess or anything like that. If I do a hand instead, because you have to have a hand in card, you've got to have a hand of cards. We shall see. Oh, I wonder what that one is. I've got no idea what that is. Is that Queen of Hearts, or if I type in king, have I got a king or I don't know. Queen, no. Playing cards. Let's go for game again, and I think we're just going to do a hand for the moment, okay? So I don't want to waste any more time. And I think the next one, if I bring back up the Word document, is Annika and Fit for All. So various classes, Annika Fit for All, and it's already down there. So I'm going to highlight that Annika bit just there, Control C to copy, going to drag it above that one and delete the old one that was from there. So we've got Fit for All. Again, click into here, Control V, highlight that one there, Control X, Control V, take out from, put in the word contact, bring up the Word document again. Oops, I didn't want that one, I want the Word document. And the next one is Swanland Parish Council meeting. So let me go back to here, and it is just there. So drag that up, get rid of that keep fit one. So now you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, and I've got the Monday there. It's a bit of a jump about thing, isn't it, though, when you've got that in place. So I'm going to click on there. Just go to design and go to heading text, and I'm going to choose the center. Now that doesn't really do what I wanted it to do. So what I need to get is these to center themselves, to get that to being in the middle here. Okay, I need to just go and get probably a teeny weeny bit of code. So Windows E key for Windows Explorer. I've just got to go to my Dropbox, business resources, and web scripts library, align items in a row in Divi. So I'm just going to minimize that out. Oh, actually, I'm going to close that now. So here's my go to row settings and advanced tab. Let me just make this a little bit smaller. So that's the row settings there. And when I click on that, this is obviously going to briefly disappear, because clicking on that will bring this whole page here in front of this window here. Okay, so as soon as I click on there, this is going to temporarily disappear until I bring it back again. But I'm going to be clicking on that there, and as soon as I get the row settings, I'm going to be clicking on the advanced tab here. At the moment we're looking at a heading, not the row, so let me just go and do that. Click on row settings and advanced. Now I'm going to bring back up that small document. So we've gone on to row settings and advanced tab, then custom CSS, which is just there, and then module elements and main element, and then to paste in this code just here. display flex, align item center. So I'm going to copy that first of all. And so in a moment I'm going to click on, this is going to disappear. I'm going to click on custom CSS, module elements, then main element. So custom CSS, module elements is just there, main element is just there. I'm going to do Control V. And now you see Monday's jumped down and it is aligning itself to there. I'm just going to save that. And that means that no matter how many or how few items I have in here, as the row expands downwards, that Monday is going to be naturally aligned to the very middle. So if I added more, the Monday would move down the page. If I took out a few, the Monday would move up the page. So let me just demonstrate that. If I was to get rid of that one, you'll see Monday move up a little bit because there you go, because Monday is still center aligned to those. If I do Control Z to undo and get that back again, Monday just jumps down. So that's really great. So I'm rather pleased with that. And I've got also the ability to put in some of the images. So we have fit for all classes. Now if I bring back up that Word document again, you can see there's a fit for all image in there. If I just, I don't know, expand that out a little bit like that, make it a bit bigger. Now I'm going to screen grab it using my screen grab software. And I'm going to grab that, and that's come into my Snagit editor. I'm going to save that into, where are we at this moment in time? Which part of the website are we working on again? We're working on the weekly routine, aren't we? So images, and I don't think I've got a weekly events on there, so I'm going to add a folder and I'm going to call it weekly events, and I'm going to save it into that folder, fit for all. Minimize that out of the way, minimize that out of the way, and here's the fit for all classes. I'm going to go to here to add a new module, and I want to add an image, so I'll type IMA, and there it has the word image. Puts in an image for me. Now that image is constrained in size because it's constrained within this row here, and it's constrained by the width in particular of that column. So here it is. I'm going to click on that image, and that takes me to the library. Click on upload files, click on select files, and go to Swanland and images and weekly events. That's the folder I've just created. That's the image I've just created. Click open. And once it has uploaded properly, I'm going to take it out of the title. And I'll tell you the reason why I do that in a moment. I'm going to put in here fit for all Swanland. As I say, you can never type when people are watching. Swanland Village Hall in the alt text, put that into the description. And the reason why I'm not putting the title in there and keeping that blank is if you were to put your mouse over there in the when the web page is live, the title text pops up and appears, and that is not what I want. So that's the reason why I take it out of the title. So, and you can see that is nicely aligned in there. Now, if I can find a picture of, I'll tell you what, I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to add a module, and I'm going to add an image again. And now, rather than getting a brand new image, as I put my mouse over there, I've got this AI, generate with AI. This is really nice. Now, this is where I pay £100 a year to get AI stuff. And I can create whole web pages, I can create sections or whatever it is with AI. So it just means that I can be a bit lazy, or I can experiment and that sort of thing. So click on AI here and generate with AI. and I'm going to do, I want it to be a photo, and some bridge playing cards, and so I'm going to put generate, and let's see what it can create for me. And oh, that's interesting, isn't it? Some bridge playing cards. I wonder if I could change the shape of it. Oh yeah, so there's also so you can generate them into different types of art as well. So you can create. At the moment, I'm on photo, aren't I? So you know, etc. I didn't mean to actually do that, but generate more like this one. You can click on one and say generate more like this one, but I think I'm actually that's got gambling things on just there. So I'm going to click on that one, and I'm going to click use this image. And in a moment, there they are. Okay, I want to have nice little. Now again, I might download that out and cut off the top and bottom of that in order to retain its shape, because I really would want to have something that's. Do you see how all that shape there fits in nicely? Whereas because this is tall, it's creating an extra gap here that I really don't want. So now that's actually in my library, inside my WordPress library, I can click and download that, chop off the top, chop off the bottom. In fact, I'd probably chop off the top. I'd probably cut it around there as well, so that you've just got that bit left like that. But for the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm working on that module, on that image, click on design, again click on border, and I'm going to just round off the actual edges there like that. Okay, like that, so it's nice little, do that up to 15. Then I'm going to right mouse click on that and do copy attributes, and I'm going to right mouse click on this one, and I'm going to go to paste attributes and do the second one down, which is paste image design attributes, and that will also give that a rounded edge like that as well, so it copies that down there to there. So, you know, and then what I will be able to do is just add an image there, so that it just gives you something extra. Or I could actually, if the person's got their own website, I will take a screen grab of their website and put it there and make it clickable. The way in which you make it clickable to go off somewhere else, again, if I click on this module gear symbol, I'm now working on this particular image. There's a link here. If I just paste a website URL in there, then clicking on that will take you to the website. At the moment in the current tab, or you can ask it in a brand new tab or whatever it is. It's as easy as that to turn that into a link. So if any of these people have their own websites, that's what I will do, is I'll put an image in there with a link to their own website. So what I've now done is I have created a Monday. The next thing to do is not to do that all over again, because that would be a lot of work. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to this row settings, and I'm going to go to duplicate row, and I'm going to duplicate the whole thing. So click once, and now I can scroll down and see it appears all over again just there. But rather than Monday, I'm going to click on there, and I'm going to say Tuesday. T-U-E-S, Tuesday. I can spell Tuesday, really. And if I go back to the Word document, how many things do we have for Tuesday? We have 1, 2, we've got 4 things on Tuesday. We've got Dinky Dancing, Jolly Melodies, U3A, Country Dancing, yay, something that Julia loves, not for me, and the Fleur Academy, various classes. because then the next thing down goes into Wednesday. So there's only 4 on Tuesday, so I can straight away delete one of those. And then we need to just begin to change these. So I'm going to click on the Tuesday one, and this information is now out of date. So again, I'm going to bring up the Word document. It's U3A Country Dancing, 2nd and 4th of the month. Control C, minimize that out of the way. Go down to here, Control V. No, that's not it, is it? That, if I come back again, U3A Country Dancing is what I want. Copy that out of the way. This is the bit here we want to update first of all. U3A English Country Dancing, and I think I want it in lower text. Right, that's better. And let me bring the Word document back up again, and it's from that time there. So again, Control C, minimize that, Control V, and puts those in. And then bring that back again. 2nd and 4th of the month, Control C, Control V, contact, and the person is Roy Kennington, Control C, and Control V. So that's what I would do with each of these as I add in and update, and then I just simply again duplicate it again for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then what I will do in another video is I will add some images up here for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which you can click on, which will jump you down the page to the correct areas. But I think I've done enough in this video so far, so I will do the extra work now and then make another video when I need to do something else. So hopefully that has shown you a bit about, again, the complexities of using Divi 5. And as you can see, it is a complex product. Probably the most complex thing I've done so far today is to add a row where there were 2 columns. Let me just remind you, it has 2 columns, a column here and a longer column, but then I inserted inside that column there another row with 2 columns in it, which is this one here. Okay, so that's a row within a row. And so there is one large row, just as a reminder, one large row which contains within it a column, and in the next column there is another row with 2 columns, and another row with 2 columns, and another row with 2 columns. And the reason why I've done that is because I want to actually fix the images that I put in here with the column next to them. I don't want them going astray. So they are locked into place side by side with each other. Okay, so that's the most complex thing that I've done in this one so far. So quickly save that, and I'll exit out, scroll down the page, and you can see that that's how it's beginning to look, and etc. And I might want to put a nice swishy image, a nice swishy swirly bit of colour behind that. In fact, I'll do that now very, very quickly. Just hold a second, let me just Add that in and we'll see how that looks. So inside the section itself, click on the section gear symbol, go to background. I'm going to add in a background colour. Make it much lighter. And then I'm going to add in a background mask. And the mask I want to add in, let me think, let's make it a swirly thing like that. That might work, it might not work. In fact, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to delete that off. Rather than add it to the section, I'm going to add it to the row. So click on there, go to background, get a colour, a much lighter colour, and then add a mask in there. And what kind of mask would actually work? Would that work? That's not so bad, is it, really? Let's have a little look down here. Cover, stretch to fill. Anyway, that's sort of a little bit different. No. Well, I'll have a mess around with it. I'll see what works. That's a little bit better, but I'm not sure that quite works. Anyway, what I can do, you see, is I can add that in, and it makes it sort of interesting to the eye, so that every single row can have its own particular background mask in there. I mean, this is a village hall website. It's not meant to be funky in any way, so it all depends on the sort of site, the sort of effect that you're wanting to create. Right, I'm going to leave it at that for the minute. I don't think I've to waste any more time, but that's the sort of thing that I could do in order to just highlight and emphasize. And in fact, now if I just go to that and do right mouse click and copy the attributes of that, and go to here and right mouse click and do paste attributes, but the second one down, just having the design attributes, that adds that onto there like that, and that begins to look all right, doesn't it? That begins to look slightly good. So click save on that, and if I exit out, I'll just begin to see a little bit there. It might work, it might not, I really don't know. Yeah, the village hall people might go, yikes, get rid of that background, but I don't know. And oh yeah, do you see how these are sitting really tight against that right hand side? It's going to be a matter of adding in some padding to push that out. So again, let me just very, very quickly do that. So we want to add some padding so that we push these back. So I'm going to go to the main row itself, because that line goes all the way down the side. I'm going to go to design, spacing, and there's padding at the bottom, and we're going to add padding to the right. And if I just hopefully click a couple of pixels up, it should just shift these both to the right here. So on the right hand side, click, click. You can see those moving just in a little bit. In fact, if I change that to percentage, I do 1%, there you go, that just shoved it all in by 1%, and say that, oh, I need to do the same on this one down here. So again, the way to do that is to right mouse click, copy attributes, go down, right mouse click, paste attributes, second one down, paste row design attributes, and that shifts them in as well. Okay, so so I can begin to continue to change these, get rid of those two and put in some new images, etc. Right, save that, exit that out, and there we see the beginnings of a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. For the new website. Okay, hope you found that helpful.